Hey everybody, Gnome here. Server X160, the best in the West, led by Admiral Fearheart. Sorry, our guild, the Diamond Dogs. So if anyone's looking for a home, talk to Supia or Moregrave, any of our leaders. They do a great job. Get in here, come join us. We have some fun times in the chat and in Guild Conquest. So anyhow, I need to do a video on official video on the Kojiki clan, seeing as I got the female to 15 stars and I got the male to what is it, 10 stars? Yeah, 10 stars. And so he's level 400. But I really like them both, honestly. I think the male is a little underrated. I've gone against some people who have utilized them really well. Someone who had him level 700 feeding a male water and sun, so with all that extra damage, it was rough. But I want to talk about the clan Yin today. So maybe the Yin clan, maybe they should take clan out of that and just have Yin, right? Because do you see any other clan, like the word clan in any of these? I don't see it. So I assume they're all clans, right? The male and the female of a clan. So that would technically just be yin. But let's start with the male, who looks amazing. He's a marksman. Kind of looks like, what is that? Not Liu Kang, one of the Mortal Kombat guys. Anyhow, I love the hat. Cool brim. Look at this bow. It's it's got the dragons at the end, kind of glowing, going into the dragon or spirit realm or whatever. His arm, he's got a little, whatever, it's that holy energy or, great attire. He's got the cool sash coming down with an emblem there. He's got his arrows ready to go in a sheath there at his waist. Man, this guy looks awesome. Great. Let's look at the female real quick. Cool hat. It's a nice detail on that. She's got a bow that kind of looks similar to his, but more kind of feminine dragon appearance. Same sheath of arrows. Nice. I like the phoenix that goes up the lapel there. That's really cool. Great looking champ. The hair's cool looking. Just fits right in. Both of them, fantastic. So let's go back to the male. We'll jump straight into the passive. Yin's Way, Guardian Insignia. When taking a fatal attack, the caster becomes immune to damage dealt and generates a shield equal to 1500% of their strength. So times 10, strength times 10. So if he has 5 million strength, which is, what is that, vigor level 40-ish, then he will do 5 times 15, which is awesome. What is that? That's 50 million plus, that's 75 million hit point or con shield basically. So that would be 5 million times 15. So 5 million times 10 is 50 million. And then 5 million times 5 is 25 million. So that's a 75 million shield every time he's going to take. So before he dies, he becomes immune to damage. He gets a ridiculous shield, probably similar to one of like female Esterier's shields. The shield knocks back nearby enemies. So, because remember, he's a marksman, so he's trying to keep people back so he can keep popping them with his arrows. And it stuns them for 2.5 seconds when it goes off. That's a huge stun. Think about if you have a male polar bear, his ult going along with this. That's an extra like 50%. So that's an extra second and a half about. I think it's like 60% actually. So like a second and a half on top of that. That's a 4-second stun if male polar bear's ult is going off. When the shield is active, the caster becomes immune to control effects for 10 seconds. I'm. Oh, okay. I'm guessing the shield lasts for 10 seconds, maybe. But if it's just indefinite, if it just lasts until it goes off again, then that's awesome because it gives you plenty of time to get him healed back up. And then the skill will trigger every 30 seconds. So if you go later in the game, he's got another chance to stay alive a little longer. And immune to control effects is awesome because if he has any life steal or anything, no one can stop him from have that going off. But let's see what some of the other abilities do. His active, Yin's Way, Shadow Scales, sends a dragon soul towards the target that flies at a steady speed and penetrates enemies in its path. Enemies within the dragon soul, so he like basically shoots out a dragon, like it's going to kind of woo go forward. The Asian dragon. So enemies within the dragon soul take damage equal to 150% of the caster strength every half a second. And so think about this. If the dragon soul is going forward and it says towards the target, so if there's any other like melee in front of that target, if you knock them back, it'll essentially knock them with this dragon soul and they might take even more damage. So every second they take 300% strength damage of his, and they gain one dragon mark, or two dragon marks in a second, one every half second. Each dragon mark reduces the target's strength resistance by 5%. Oh, that's awesome. A lot of people have built strength resistance and there's not enough things that reduce it. So this is really nice because they reduce the target strength resistance, so it's not just to him, it's to everybody. So everyone's going to be able to do some more damage for a 6 second up to 5 times. So a total of 25% reduced of the strength resistance. That's really nice. Oh, that's cool. Does a ton of damage too, so just keep that in mind. To multiple people too. Releases a glowing his ult, Yin's Way, Draconian Blast. Releases a glowing dragon in the air after charging for a short period. So he charges up real quick and then bam, shoots a huge glowing dragon into the air. The glowing dragon swoops down on the target location, dealing damage, so it's AoE damage it seems, equal to 600% of the caster strength to enemies in the area. Nice. Reducing their energy by 350. And I always think, like, who can go well with female Almat, who increases energy drain by 60. So it would essentially, if her ult's going off, it would reduce their energy by 410 to everybody caught in the area, dealing AoE damage equal to 150% of the casters. Wait, hold on. First it does 600% of damage in an area. If there are dragon marks on the enemy's hit, assume they each have like 5 dragon marks. If there are dragon marks on enemies hit, the marks are detonated, dealing AoE damage equal to 150% of the caster's strength multiplied by the number of dragon marks. That is so stupid. That's so much damage. 5 dragon marks times 150%. That's 500. That's 750% if they each have 5 dragon marks per person, plus the 600. So that's 1,350%, 1,350% to each champion that has 5 dragon marks, all right there in the area. And they do AoE, dealing that to all the other people around them. So basically, if you group up the enemy, this thing's going to kill them all when it goes off. This is like doomsday device for the enemy. It's like boom, if it goes off and they have 5 marks each and they're all grouped up, they're all going to take that AoE damage. They're going to nerf this. I'll put money on them nerfing this. They will. That's too strong. Afterwards, hold on, what? There's more? Afterwards, the caster gains 5% strength for every detonated mark for 8 seconds. So if there's 5 marks on all the enemies, and they all detonate, and there's 5 enemies, that's 25 times 5. That's 125% strength for 8 seconds. That's game over, because look at this. So 125% strength is a huge amount. That's going to get nerfed. And it's assume he actives after his ult. So for 8 seconds, he has 125% extra strength because he just fucking excuse me. I'm gonna have to edit that out. Oh, crud. That might ruin my stream. Anyhow, sorry, excuse my language. This is supposed to be kid friendly. I'm sorry. Ignore that last part. I'll try to edit it out. But it's going to do so much damage. So remember, this one is 150% of the caster strength every half second. So 300 every second. Assume they're in it for 2 seconds right there. That's 600% of the caster's strength. And his strength has been amplified by 125% strength from his ult. If they survive his ult, they're not going to survive an active. I guarantee it. So this champion is the damage king. And I hear that there's a sprite skill, one of the epic ones that affects marksmen, that is supposed to add a ton of damage. So that that guy is insanely strong. I don't know what their clan trait is yet, but him alone, I'll probably be summoning for him. I haven't read hers yet. We'll find out. So this is the female. Yin's Way, Phoenix Imprint. Every normal attack has a 50% chance for the caster to dash to the target with a Phoenix. Or I don't know if she goes herself or if just the Phoenix goes, dealing damage equal to 300% of the caster's strength. So that's already strong. Every normal attack, 50% chance to dash to the target. That's really good. That's going to go off a lot. Inflicting 1 Phoenix Squall on the target, so a stack on the target. And gaining 1 stack of Plume. So she gets a stack of Plume, they get a stack of Phoenix Squall. The effects trigger is guaranteed after every 3 normal attacks. So if on her 3rd attack, I think, or maybe on the 4th, I don't know, it's weird, she'll automatically get a trigger if she hasn't gotten one just due to the 50%. Phoenix Squall. So this will be on the enemy, and it doesn't say that there's a cap, so you could just keep stacking it maybe. Reduces the target's strength resistance by 5% and their damage dealt by 5% for 5 seconds, second up to 5 times. So 5 stacks of Phoenix Squall on the target, and it reduces their strength resistance by a total of 25% and their damage dealt by a total of 25% for 5 seconds if you get it max. That's awesome. That's a really good debuff, and that's every normal attack, just making this stack go up from inflicting this Phoenix Squall. So you need to make sure she's hitting. You need to add some plus hit to her. That's going to be really important, so think about that when you're doing your like Guardian Stones. What else do we got here? Plume, which she stacks on herself, increases the caster's attack speed by 7.5% for 12 seconds. So that's a long time. 12 seconds is huge. So she'll always, but it goes up to 20 stacks. What is that? 10 stacks is 75% attack speed. 20 stacks is 150% attack speed, and it'll be for 12 seconds, so it'll be on her pretty much indefinitely. So if she has any kind of immune to control effects, that'll make her really strong. Think in this sense, male Esterier. He makes her immune to control effects, so she could just keep attacking super fast. Like, you don't even need agile on her because her passive is so strong. But you do need to build up to that really quick. So a rapid shot is going to be mandatory on her. Maybe something like female hose passive that will give her attack speed, or think of the new released male Kojiki, who would give her, with his passive, his buff, his link, he would give her extra attack speed as well. So that would help to start, and then she'd build up to that. So if he happened to die, she'd still be okay, because she'd be max stacks. So here's her active. Yin's Way, Soaring Swirl. Summons 2 phoenixes. That's weird. Is there a plural form for that? Is it? Anyhow, that slowly swirl around the target location, soaring into the air after 1 circle. So they circle around, then fly up. The phoenixes drag nearby enemies to the center. Oh, cool. It's a pull effect. So think male hose ultimate, how it pulls people in. So while the 2 phoenixes are down, they're pulling people in, and they deal damage equal to 300% of the caster's strength 2 times and inflict 2 Phoenix Squalls on them. So remember, we talked about the passive, the Phoenix Squall. So her active automatically inflicts 2 and pulls them in and deals 600% of the caster's strength damage to him. That's really awesome. So maybe it's for 2 seconds, maybe it's for 3 seconds. We'll have to find out. But I'm already really liking her a lot too. This is unfair. Why do they have to release both the male and the female being so good? So it puts 2 Phoenix Squalls on him, pulls them in, does a ton of damage. Meanwhile, the caster gains 5 stacks of plume. So 25% of her max stacks right there from her active. That's really cool. And I think hopefully that's immediate. She just gains those 5 stacks. So, you know what? Maybe with her active, you don't even necessarily need agile at all. Maybe you don't even need a buff from female Ho or anyone else because she starts off with 5 from her active. So she'll maybe attack twice and then use her active, and she'll gain those extra like attack speeds. So she'll ramp up really quick. All right, that's really cool. Does a ton of damage, pulls people in. Already liking it because, yeah, she's just, oh man. She's reducing strength resistance. She's pulling people in. She's reducing their damage dealt. Like, especially as they die, she's just moving right on to the next target. So here's her ultimate Yin's Way uh, Pinion Dance. I guess that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. Gains Undispellable Phoenix Might. Okay, so she's a new one. It's not Phoenix Squall. It's not Plume. It's Phoenix Might. So for 10 seconds, and it's undispellable. So no dispel on it. It's awesome. So again, making her crowd control effective, she'd really be able to take advantage of this because it's undispellable, and she'll just be able to attack. So while active, each stack of plume increases the caster's crit rate by 2%. What the heck? So remember, it can go up to 20 stacks. So times 2%, that's 40% extra crit rate. So she's going to just be critting nonstop. You know what that means? You need to put the monkey trait on her for sure. That's very important because it increases crit damage. So let's continue. Crit damage by 5%. So 5 times, how many stacks? 20. That is, oh man, that's 100% extra crit damage. That is awesome. So it's already like, what, 200%? Now you get an extra 100% with a huge crit rate. You're just going off constantly, just bam, bam, bam. That might be better than the Monkey King passive, I think. And lifesteal by 2.5% times 20. What is that? Times 10 is 25. So that's 50% life steal. So, and remember, she's already attacking super fast. She's got all this life steal. So you have to make her immune to crowd control. One of her best synergies, I already think, will be male Esterir, because he'll make her crowd control, prevent her from being crowd controlled. So the caster gains a new buff at 4, 8, and 12 stacks of plume, which, remember, her active gives her 5. So she's automatically going to get buff 1, like right at the beginning of the game or the battle. All normal attacks are guaranteed to trigger Phoenix Aid. What's Phoenix Aid? What's this Phoenix Aid? We have Plume. We have Phoenix Squall on the target. Now we have Phoenix Might for 10 seconds. So what's Phoenix Aid? Is that maybe their clan trait? Maybe there's something cool in the clan trait? Phoenix Aid, what would that be? Is Phoenix Aid that they get 5 stacks of plume? Because that would, again, ramp her up really quickly. But, okay, so we don't know what Phoenix Aid is yet. Keep that in mind. So you get it really quick, whatever it is, and all your normal attacks give you Phoenix Aid. So think about that. So buff number 2, which happens at 8, which should be pretty quick. If you think about it, every time you shoot off your passive, which does a ton of damage. You inflict one Phoenix Squall on them, you get a plume. Here we go. Let's look again. Stacks of plume. So 8 is really quick to get. Like, because you attack twice before you use your active, so that's already 7. And then you'll get one more right after you use your active. And they're all getting pulled in, remember? And so now you get normal attacks now aim at 2 targets. So you want to pull as many people as you can in. This seems like a character on League of Legends. What was her name? She's like the Phoenix. She shoots at people and she can like bounce off of them and shoot a special attack. And she shot out like a Phoenix wave. What was her name? Awesome champ. But yeah, this champion reminds me a lot about her. So you attack 2 targets and trigger Phoenix Aid 2 times. So that's every normal attack. It's 2 targets, triggers Aid Phoenix 2 times. And then buff 3, which you get at 12 stacks of plume, which happens probably before your ultimate. You'd be surprised. Phoenix Aid will always hit the target. Additionally, dealing true damage equivalent to 15% of target's max constitution. That's insane. The extra damage will not exceed 20 times the caster's strength, to which is 200%. Okay, so maybe that's what they're saying. Maybe Phoenix Aid is an attack that will always hit the target, so you don't have to worry about the Guardian Stone for plus hit for her. Additionally, dealing true damage equivalent to 15% of target's max constitution. So maybe, so with buff 1, all normal attacks are guaranteed to trigger Phoenix Aid. So maybe that now means that they'll all hit the target and they'll do true damage. So does that ignore fortitude or anyhow, it's going to be awesome. Equivalent to 15% of target's max constitution. So I think it's just a flat hit. So whatever 15%, if they're at 100 million health, now it'll do 15 million right there with each hit, with each normal attack. And then in buff 2, normal attacks now aim at 2 targets and trigger Phoenix Aid. So I think it means Phoenix Aid 2 times hitting each target. So each target will it'll automatically hit, and then they'll take 15% of the max con, which is very close to the champion in League of Legends. Again, that's eerie. And that's times 20. So if your strength is 5 million, you'll do times 20, so you can do up to 100 million. So this will be limited by the target's max constitution, but it'll still be really amazing. So, and that's going off all the time. She's doing extra crit. She's critting all the time. Phoenix Aid's going off all the time. Like, this champion is nuts. This champion is just as nuts as the male. Like, what a good clan to summon on, especially if you really like marksman. Let's see when the last marksman was. The Kivak clan, which the female is still broken. When her ult goes off, she's supposed to immediately refresh her active, which she doesn't do. And that's really important because that changes her synergy with the female Kojiki, which I'll release in the Kojiki video. Sorry, I'm late again on that. But either way, the Kivak clan is really awesome. So buffing them would be nice with the Guardian Stones. The Thunder Lords, the female's really good for a quick attack, quick damage team. What else do you got for marksman? The Stone Thrower, the male Stone Thrower. I'm still trying to get him to 15 star. He's at 14. He's amazing. Female Sophos has been a staple on my Team 1 for a long time. So being able to buff your marksman Guardian Stones and rock this clan is a major awesome thing. So I was going to change my Guardian Stones, but now I might not, because I do have an accent for my my marksman here. I need more plus hit, but if I go the female marksman, I wouldn't need the plus hit as much. If I go the male, I would probably need to max this plus hit. I think I'm going to take the 10 out of my Bloodcraft strength and go ahead and add that to get some of these plus hits up from people, because you really need that plus hit. Some abilities won't hit. Like, one thing I've noticed is the female polar bear. she won't hit with all the swings of her axe, even though she's lower she level and mine's only level 480. You really need that up on warriors if you're going to use her, because she needs to be able to hit, and that'll be good because it'll help the male polar bear hit with his active to knock people up more. It'll help with the male polar bear's ult to land on people. His just auto attack if you have something that drains or does anything like that. So plus hit is really important in this game. So don't forget about that. Anyhow, I think the new clan's going to be a lot of fun. Let's think of some synergies and some traits that'll go well with them, shall we? Both of them are going to need brutal because they focus on their strength, so that's mandatory for them. If you notice, they're getting a lot of go ahead and go steadfast too. That'll block a lot of incoming damage, and you're going to want to focus on their strength because they scale. All their abilities are like scaling off the strength. Let's look here. Her passive scales off the strength. Her ultimate does not scale off strength. I mean, I guess you can consider life steal and crit and everything. That's still pretty much go. Oh, I guess her maximum down there. But again, her limiting factor for her ult is the target's max con, not her strength. So that's not as important there. And then definitely her active goes off strength, so you're going to want that. The male, his passive goes off strength with the shield. Oh, so good. So he's got a defensive mechanism. She doesn't really have a defense. She's complete offense. Think of her that way. Where he has this defensive shield that is awesome, which also reduces enemies' energy. So if you have a backline diver on him, he's going to be able to survive that way better. And going to do some damage to him. Look at this, the detonated. So it's really, the strength is huge on his passive, his ult. And like, he definitely maybe needs brutal and aggressive. He needs his strength to be ramped up in your team. So you're going to want a hulking definitely in there, a sanguine in there. You're going to want to make him pretty much unstoppable. And I would think putting him with a male Kojiki would be a really good combination. So for him, we're definitely going to want... Like, for attack speed, I don't think you have to really worry. Maybe give them a buff from somebody, either female hoe or male Kojiki, or someone that increases, like female Lionstone. She'll get the ultimate attack speed going on. He's got defensive capabilities. This champ is just so good. You could think of him being good. Again, male Askavarg is good for any time you need to group up the enemy, so he's going to go really well with the female Yin. And the female polar bear is going to go well with the female Yin to pull people in. Female Tide Razor is going to go well. Male Almat in there because all the attacking, auto attacks basically. That could be pretty sick. There's so much synergy that'll go along with this champ because the female pulls people together. So anybody that can capitalize that, even over the male Kojiki, because he puts down the thing on the ground at the furthest enemy. So have him put down that. She shoots her active off and groups everybody up so that they all take the full 5 seconds of the silence and take all the damage too. That's really important. So they would go really well together. Male Kojiki and the female Yin. The male, again, he's going to do so well. He's got all this detonation damage. He is damage with a shield. So look at this. If you can make sure that female Lionstone goes off before he dies, he'll gain a shield equal to times 15. So she multiplies the strength by 390%, which is almost times 4. And then you get times 15 of your strength, whatever you have after that. And like, that would give him the biggest shield. So if it only lasts 10 seconds, that's fine. But if it lasts indefinitely, then this guy's definitely super overpowered. Like, his damage is going to be way crazy. He's reducing strength resistance, which is going to cause him to do even more damage with all of his crazy strength and all of his strength related abilities. Like, I think I might go the male because I want just a little more survivability, especially early game, because he's basically guaranteed a second chance, like a second life. And kind of female Shun has that with her passive. She's able to last a little longer. Female Esterir lasts way longer. So they're adding some of these champs that are basically like, if they get burst down really quick, they kind of get a second chance a little bit. Silken Crown kind of does that because he gets to use his ult and trap everybody, so his healing can maybe go off. If he can trap male Soulkeeper quick enough, he can heal a lot, and I've done that a few times. So this is really awesome. So like I told you earlier, the male will go well with the male polar bear as well, because the male polar bear is going to amplify his stun that he has from his passive. When the shield knocks back nearby enemies, and and while the shield's active, he's immune to control effects, so he's just gonna go nuts. Oh, he's so good. Um, I thought he had a stun, but was it her that had a stun? The caster strength no, that just done a ton of damage and reduces strength resistance. He swoops down, reducing their energy, doing a ton of damage, detonating marks, doing even more damage. And then he gains a ton of strength. Remember? Oh, yeah. He gets like 125% extra strength. Oh, this guy is... Give him all the strength you can. That's all I got to say. Give him aggressive. Give him brutal. Make sure you have rapid shot on the team. Maybe fighting will, just to give him that extra strength, 15% early. Put him in the back row with female hoes, high spirited, so that he gets that. I told you, make sure he's getting hulking from a member of the team. Just make him a cannon. And here's the best part. He's not just a glass cannon. He's a solid iron cannon. Like, this guy has all kinds of defensive abilities with his passive. Just being able to get that second chance to do even more damage. So I think that this guy is amazing. I told you kind of some of the synergies with him. Make sure you put all your best gear on him. I'll probably be summoning the male, but I'll mostly be at the mercy of how much fodder I'm given. Because if they have a mask event going on, I'd want to try to max it. But I don't have much mage fodder because... Oh, wait. I have a ton of hunter fodder. So I'm actually probably going to be able to get whatever mask that comes out. So I'll go with the male or female. I really like the pull in from the female. I like that mechanism in most games that I play. I like it with all the male hoe. The male hoe, you got to get them ramped up to be able to do that. So you have to do a lot of really quick damage so that when he does ult and you need him to ult quicker, then it pulls everybody in and then you capitalize on that. So I might add male hoe instead of male Kojiki to my fast kill team. I like the silence from the male Kojiki, but if you get people's life down quick enough with your male Segarak and your male Dawnbreaker, you really capitalize with male Ho. Even with female Akuna, like, that's a great synergy, and I might maybe look into that a little bit. I've been really wanting to. I was told, Becca told me about that on Discord. So for her, remember, she's going to every normal attack has a fit you. So you want her just attack it super fast, but her passive increases her attack. She reduces her strength, enemy strength resistance, and damage dealt, which is amazing with her passive. So she's attacking super quick. With her active, she kind of pulls people in and also does a ton of damage, inflicts more squall on them, and she gains more plume, so she's just attacking even faster. And then she gets undispellable Phoenix Might. She gets, for each stack of plume, she's like critting off the wall. She's doing a ton of extra crit damage. Remember, you're going to want the female Shun, I think it's Shinra's Vigor on her, definitely. You don't need agile on her. You're going to need brutal on her. She gets increased lifesteal, so consider lifesteal because she's attacking so fast. It might be really good. You definitely need to pair her up with maybe a male Esterier if you went that route because he'll make her unstoppable because her buffs are super good. If Phoenix 8 is what I think it is, where they deal true damage and it always hits the target for the max con, she is just so amazing. And remember, she's doing this to two people really quick. So she's just boom, 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 attacking super fast, whittling two people down so fast, critting on them. And you could even do Plume Dance from the Corbett clan on her. So the first 15 seconds, she gets extra crit damage again as well. So by the time she uses her ult, if you decide you want pure heart on her to fight Bulko or just wait to let her go off at the 10-second mark, she will just gain all these crazy buffs. And so she'll essentially get 5 seconds of any of her crits, which they're going off. She'll have 20 stacks by then, I think. Now her crits have a 40% chance to go off more, and her crit damage is so nuts with Plume Dance, Shinra's Vigor, Brutal, and maybe Steadfast or Aggressive. So I'll probably end up putting Steadfast on her because she has no defensive here. Like, she does all damage with her passive. She does all damage. She has a little bit of life steal. Again, why Mel Esterier is just so important with her. I think I'll make a group just like that. He's at 14 stars, so that would get him right there where I need him. Let's look where we're at time. Okay, good. And then remember, her active is a pull in. So you can pair her up with any extra damage or any disables in a group that have people getting pulled in. So maybe like some AoE stuns. I'm thinking female Tide Razor is really good for that. And remember, you're going to want a hulking for this girl. You're going to want your normal cunning on your team. You're going to want your rapid shot because that's just going to help her ramp up a little quicker and help all the other members of your team. You're probably going to want a Sanguine just to give more damage. You're going to want your hulking. Like, she can really be an insane damage dealer. Like, think about her with the female Ho. Think about her with the male Kojiki. So he increases her damage by 20%, and then she's ranged, so she'll stop right by him. When he uses his active, she'll get another 20%. So now she's doing an extra 40% damage on top of her crazy amount of damage she's doing from her passive. And look at this. Every normal attack has a 50% chance to do 300% of the caster's strength. That's something we're overlooking here, how much damage that's going to do. So each normal attack, and then look at this. Look at her ult. Normal attacks now aim at 2 targets. So for each normal attack, there's 50%. So while you're attacking 2 targets, each one, there's a 50% chance for this thing to go off, where they get a Phoenix Squall, they take 300% of caster strength damage, and it's guaranteed every 3 normal attacks. So as it's hitting those 2 targets, it's just going off like crazy. And so, yeah, this is going to be really awesome. And remember, everybody that's taking that Phoenix Squall, they're getting up to 5 stacks for strength resistance decrease. So she's doing even more damage with her normal attack thing and with her ultimate, doing extra life steal, doing extra crit damage, and then also definitely with her pool, her active. This champion is really good. I like it a ton. And, yeah, I think that she could go really well also with the female Shun, because the female Shun has the disable, has the ability to increase enemies' damage taken, and just really, she doesn't have the AoE damage, so maybe the male Shun might go better. Because with her, she's going to be stacking people up. So you either want to be able to stack them up for her so she can pull them all together, or you want to like push people and do some knockback so that when she uses her active, it pulls people together. The female polar bear go really well with her to just do her stun on everybody whenever they're all brought in. Yeah, these are fantastic marksmen. I think you're going to really like them. Hopefully, I answered any questions you might have about traits I'm going to do or synergies. I'm going to keep my Guardian Stones maybe pretty similar to how they are now, but the Deep Sea Delve event was going off, so like you have no extra diamonds to go around. You have to focus on that. So, yeah, I'll do an official release video. I have a bunch of hunter marksman fodder. Let me show you what I got here because I want to see myself. Hopefully, I have enough. So a ton of male Kivak. I was going to level him up, but I think I'll use his fodder for this event because I really want this. So ton of fodder. Hopefully it's going to be enough. And I'll just see how much fodder I get of the male and the female, and that'll probably dictate which direction I go, because I like them both. I have plenty of pool, and I'm trying to get the female polar bear up to max so that I can just keep pulling in with her. And I have female tide razor, so those are both very viable champs. But you got to remember, if you end up going the female of this new clan, one of the nice parts is you can drop out one of your other poolers if you want. So in my case, I could quit focusing on that warrior and have kind of a tanky, or that tank, and instead in that group have a tanky warrior like the male polar bear or female alma. Just make them a little more tanky. And then you can essentially shift your guardian stones if you want. So look at my teams real quick in an explanation here. Like, see, this is going to probably be my new 3 primary teams just for all things tournaments and everything for now. And this is like, gives me a vigor advantage. And you could see my female polar bear, I need her up to date. But look, right now I have a warrior in each group. If I was to maybe insert those 2 marksmen and add marksmen to these teams right here, then I would have to essentially, maybe I could drop out the warriors. So maybe put female Selphos in the first team and drop out female Lionstone and just have her for PvE. And then female Almat, who's been a great tank in the past because her passive has lifesteal. And then maybe even put one of the new ones up in my first team. So maybe the female to pull people in, because that'll help the male Corbett. It'll help the female Almat with her active hitting them over and over. It won't really help the male Water and Sun any. So with that being said, you could put the male in there just to add extra damage, reduce their strength resistance for all your other people to do more damage to them, and have survivability. So I'm going to put one of them in there, drop female Lionstone, kind of drop down my tank Guardian Stones. And then in the second group, female, okay, that's what I'll do. I'll do the male in my first team, so I'll probably end up leveling him up quickly. In my second team, I'll take out female tide razor, and I'll put in the female Yin, the new one. So basically, as the female polar bear pulls people in, as the male jumps on them and kind of keeps them all frozen, you'll have this female Yin also just grouping them all up so they're hit more by the spider's active and by the spider's ult. And by Akuna's active, and by Akuna's ult hits everybody on the screen. But like the polar bear's active will hit them all more. So I could get rid of female Tide Razor. And so I'll put the new female in there, the new male in team 1. And then for team 3, I can take out male Askavar, or you know what, leave him in. He's pretty awesome. As long as you give him equipment with good runes in it, and you kind of max his passive, he can actually be still a very viable champion in that team. But if you want, you could also think about this. You don't really need a tank in there. If you kind of make your male SK tanky, you can kind of make him just survive as your other champs are doing all the damage, just to get enemies in range of his ult, essentially. So as long as he has brutal, maybe aggressive, maybe hulking, you could have him there. Take out the male Askavarg, put in maybe female Kivak. Or think about this. If I decided to max the female and put her in the second group, the female Yin, put her in the second group, I could put female Selphos back up in Team 1 to have the amplified strength for my male Water and Sun, and it will add more stuns to trigger his passive and have him go off quicker. And then also, I could, like I said, have the female Almat tanking, but the female Selphos also has a lot of defensive abilities. So I could put her in there for female Lionstone. Put the max level female, because I have enough summoning crystals, in the second group here. I have it called Spread the Web, but that's not the group anymore. In there, in my crowd control group. And then for the last group, put female Kivak there, because think about this. I don't really need anybody to tank except male SK. He'll be getting the buff from female Ho. Female Ho has great defensive abilities in that slot. And if I put a female Kavak even in that slot and have female Ho in the P2 position, when female Kavak gets hit, when she triggers her active, she'll jump backwards, and then basically being able to heal up from her her passive, the damage she just took, and then also she'll jump back, and now female Ho will step up to be the defense with her 9 tails, which will absorb some attacks and some actives and stuff like that. All the while, the male Dawnbreaker and the male Segarak are focusing in on a certain P4 position. So this is really the P4 assassinate. And then by the time male SK goes off his ult, which it should from the female Ho feeding her energy from her passive, and he has Pure Heart, so his ult will go off because he's attacking fast from the female Ho. He gets a little heal from it, which is it's percent max health. So maybe I'll give him an energetic to be able to capitalize the most on that. So let's think about that. Maybe steadfast, brutal, energetic, and pure heart. That's the 4 I would put on him. And then I would have female Kivak in there, just tossing spears with her active, because remember, she'll get back those backliners too, so you don't really need the male Askavarg in that group. Let's go ahead and make the alteration right now, and then we can talk about kind of the other one. And feel free to use my group ideas. I really like people's comments. It sucks having to get rid of champions because I really like female Lionstone, but look at this a little bit more right here. So maybe female Almat, she'll hit the most people with her passive right there. We have female Selphos being able to take an active or something that hits right there, and she'll shoot her ink and it'll absorb that damage dealt. Female Shun has the defensive ability from her passive that when she hits 80%, she creates the illusion and goes immune. So that kind of gives her more survivability. And if she needs to, we need a second kind of backup tank for the female Shun, that's when the female Selphos comes in. I'll put High Spirited on. Oh, sorry, my female Shun has High Spirited. I'm waiting for the developers to fix it so she'll get the 9 tails. I think it'll look really cool on her. And so that's given 15 strength even after the suppression from the enemy's male Water and Sun. I'm still getting 15 strength to the male Corbett and the male Water and Sun, which helps them both with the male Corbett's active when it goes off, and with male Water and Sun's healing from his active. And it's just, if he gets his proc of his Pure Heart, then he can do a little bit more damage with that strength. Because also with the sprites, they kind of counteract the suppression from the enemy's male water and sun. So have male Corbett come up from behind here to also we have female Shun hopefully uses her active on the enemy's P3 position right here. Sorry, I don't have my paintbrushes out. Then male Corbett will come up and use his active on that and do a little bit extra damage for that to go off after 4 seconds and do extra damage. So I think this is going to be a really good setup right here. And then finally, we'll use somebody different. We'll use a marksman to designate these enemy or these positions, but we use marksmen of the same clan. Just so that there's no confusion. And so I don't use many marksmen, but in this case I kind of will here. So here's a female. The female's going in this group. And remember, she has the AoE pool with her active. So I'll have her right there. She doesn't have many defensive abilities, but like that's okay with how we're going to have her set up with a control group. And then remember, the male is going to go in this final team. And remember how we're just doing tons of damage so male SK can essentially tank. And then whenever his ult goes off, he just starts executing everybody. Well, here's the male doing a ton of extra damage. Everyone gets high-spirited in the back row. In fact, you could do something more like this with this setup, because male Segrak will come up quickly, attack a couple times, applying his passive, use his active to go over to the P4 position, where male Dawnbreaker will use his ult as he comes in, and hopefully within 5 seconds, male SK can go off with his ult, assassinate that P4 if it's not dead, applying his active to almost the whole enemy team. And with this, because his active travels through the enemy to his target, so I don't know if it's going to be maybe the P5 position. If it is the P5 position, we might have to move things around to do something more like this. I know he wants the benefits from her, but also if his active maybe hits the P4 from here, that would just be better for the male SK to quickly get somebody out of the battle. So the male SK again being tanky, the new male Yin being back here. And he's reducing strength resistance on people. So you want him just to be able to hit as many with his active as he can. And then, so I'll kind of just save those teams like that, so I'll know where those new champs are going in. So when I release the new video on the champs, you'll kind of see where I'm going to slot them in here. I still need to get the female polar bear up there so she can really take advantage in that group. So I might replace her with the female Tide Raiser until she gets a couple more stars on her. But yeah, that's the video. Hopefully everybody enjoyed. The new clan seems really awesome. It's kind of just changed my plans for the future. I'm now going to remove all my Guardian Stones from my tanks, and I'm going to focus more on Mage first, Assassin second, Marksman now third, and then Warrior fourth. And I think I have enough to be able to really utilize all those. And then with all, I max my Celestial Bonds. Yay! So everybody's getting max Celestial Bonds. And remember, I really would like to fit a male Esterir in with the female. And so there is a little potential. Sorry, this is a PS, by the way. So if I fit the male Esterir in here, I think he might go in place of the male polar bear. And I could strategically really do that and move the team around. But either way, I think he would go great with her, really highlight her. And a lot of the really high-end players use the marksman, so that'd go well. But if you like this video, please like down below, give me the thumbs up. Subscribe if you like it when I release videos, and the notification if you want to know right away. I'm sorry it's been a little bit since I've released videos. Life's been a little hectic. Almost got my smoothie shop back open, so we're getting there. Just past my final electrical Thank goodness. Now I just got to get signed off from the city and the food department. I'll be slinging smoothies again, which I've had my own business for 8.5 years. And then I kind of had some unfortunate events happen and I had a kid. And so I haven't had my smoothie shop open for the last couple of years. And I'm about to have it back open. So maybe all my future videos will be from my smoothie shop. But again, if you like this video, help the algorithm, help me. I could really use it right now. I want to spread the word of my videos to the whole community so more people have a good understanding of what they can do, what they can aim for. If they want to go for the clan, kind of hopefully I give you a perspective of what's going to help you the most. So thanks so much for watching the video and have a wonderful day. And if it's beautiful where you're at, get outside. Don't play this game all the time. Make sure to live life a little bit. That's important too. All right. See you later.